Steaua Bucharest 0, Man United 2. All I can say is give Kobe Mino his respect. Because after today's game, that is all he deserves. You know, all the season, everybody's been saying, oh, Kobe Mino is not good enough. Oh, he's struggling. Maybe he's just a one-season wonder. Well, he proved everybody wrong today, didn't he? This is the level Mino can perform to. And guess why, guys? If you were to take a wild guess, why Mino was able to perform today, remove the goal, remove the assist, the positions he was getting into, the threat that he was carrying, where was he playing again? Oh, that's right. He was playing in the 10. He was not playing in the 8 like he normally does. Amorim finally decided to play Bruno in the pivot and Mino in the 10. And what do you get? Probably one of our best performances of the season. Yeah, you might say it wasn't very entertaining. Like there were other games under Amorim that were more entertaining. You could say that. But if you think about the entire game as a whole, it was played exactly like we needed to. So let's picture this. You're going to an intimidating ground, namely somewhere in Czech Republic, somewhere in Romania, somewhere in Turkey. You know the stadiums I'm talking about. What is the one thing we all know we shouldn't do at all, at any cost? That is just give the home side any momentum, anything to cheer about. Because you know the crowd is on it. The second they get a goal, if they lead 1-0, let's just say you're pretty much screwed from there. Because now the crowd is behind them. And once their crowd, you've seen the crowds over there. They are like ultras. Everybody is an ultra there. And when the ultras get going, you can just sign off the game right there. So the most important thing when you go to sides like this is that you just manage the ball. You play keep ball. You play possession ball. And you play technical players to help you do so. Which is exactly what we did. We played Mazraoui, Mino, Eriksson, Collier, and they all did their part. Bruno included at times. And simply, all we had to do was keep the ball, which we did in the first half. And then second half, Garnacho came on, then we could counter, and then we ended up scoring, which is the most important part. The best thing that this game showed me was how we can manage a game sometimes. How in certain phases, we're just passing the ball around. In certain phases, we are attacking them. But this is why it's so important that when we sell Garnacho, it's so important that we bring in an attacker who can actually progress the ball, but with pace and technical ability both. So somewhat what we need is at least a decoy for Ahmad on the right. If not as good, at least one person who takes pressure away from Ahmad to just create himself. Because sure, Ahmad can do it. But you think about it, you just have Messi in your team and then you have other players who are just average. Unless they also cause a threat where the opposition looks at them too, all they need to do is just lock down Messi and it's done. So same thing here. If you don't give an option on the left to occupy some of their defenders, there's no chance that Ahmad can do what he can do. So this is why if we're bringing in Tel, that's perfect. Because Tel is fast. Now you see pace has already developed. Now we've already signed Dorgu. If you sign Dorgu, that's extra pace on the left-hand side. Left-footed left wing back. And now you have Zirkzee who can fall back and distribute to all these guys. The team is slowly building. If we can get in Tel and we can get in maybe one more attack, then I think our team is nearly there. It's not too far. I think I need to call it out again. It's about time. Guys, Rasmus Højlund, he's one of the worst strikers I've seen play for our club. The fact how you're bundling over the ball, even now, after all this time, you're still bundling over the ball and you're making poor decisions. Though, having said that, he did play a good cutback to Mino and Mino missed, but that's 1 in 1,000. Like, how often does Højlund ever make the right choice? Whether that is the right shot, whether that's the right pass, whether that's the right move physically, he does not make the right move. It's beyond me to see why some people still defend Højlund. And if nothing else, one thing in this game showed me that Amorim does not believe in him at all. Like, did you guys see when Højlund went off? There was no interaction between him and Amorim at all. It was no nod, no fist bump, no shaking of the hands, no hug, nothing. It's kind of reminded me of, you know how when Rashford went off and then Amorim ghosted him? And I'm pretty sure the same thing happened with Garnacho as well, when just before he was dropped. So I think it's about time that Højlund is pretty much done. And I think Amorim realizes it as well. He's been playing the players who he does not want to play initially. So Rashford was starting the first few games, then Garnacho was starting the first few games. But over time, we saw that the players that he did not want at all, he left them out to dry, and now they're not playing at all. Casemiro was the same thing. He played him in the first few games. He did not like what he saw, whether we agree with it or not, and now he's dropped. Eriksen was the exact same. Started the first few games, and now he's dropped. Højlund started many games, and now you can see, I think Amorim has lost his patience with him. Now, I think Højlund is done. Guys, when I say I'll take 20 million for Højlund, that's how bad it is. Because at least with Garnacho, you can say there's some PR and we can sell that. You can't sell that with Højlund. Whoever props up Højlund like that, like Højlund is never in even the conversations of, oh, potentially could be one of the best strikers in the world. No. The only people who say that are some United fans. Name me one other fan in this world who said that Højlund has some potential to become the next big striker in the world. I couldn't name you one. And this is why the sooner we move away from Højlund, which now I do actually back the club to do that. The rumors I've heard about Højlund leaving potentially to Juve or Milan by next season, that gives me some hope. So you're telling me Rashford, Garnacho, Højlund, Mount, all have been found out in the exact same window or the same, let's say, 2-3 months. Now, this is not something we would have ever thought about maybe 6 months ago, a year ago, 2-3 years ago. Would have never happened. Are you telling me all the 4 faults in the team are trying to be pushed out immediately at the same time? And let's not forget also, Dalot is not in favor with Amorim. The only reason Dalot has been playing all these games is because if you think about the options, Malacia today was absolutely horrible. I thought of giving him time initially, but after seeing this one, I understand why he's going on loan. He's not good enough, right? I think it's all pretty much clear. So now that we don't have Malacia as a good option, Anthony is obviously gone to Betis, and you can't think of many other options you would play unless it's Garnacho. And Garnacho, well, he's underwhelming everywhere. So pretty much you're only down to Diogo Dalot and Mazraoui for now, which is why Amorim has been playing them. And now that the experiment is over, now that we have Dorgu in, let's say we get one more wing back. I'm telling you, Dalot's not playing. I'm telling you, Mazraoui is not playing, at least at right wing back. Today again, Mazraoui, instead of right wing back, he slotted him at right centre back again, and now Mazraoui was decent. You play players in positions that they're familiar in, and you see a performance. Which I guess, yeah, that's all we need to do at least from Palace. We need to see players playing in their right positions. So, and not accommodating certain players. So let's say we play Ahmad in the 10 and Mazraoui at right wing back again. I'd be like, what's the point? By the time weekend comes, Maino and Ugarte will be playing in the pivot again. And it won't be Bruno there, unless something changes drastically. But even there, that's the only problem I have. And I think even that would be solved. The second we get somebody like, let's say, for example, Edison. If we get a progressive / defensive midfielder at the same time, then I think Maino will be moved more progressive as well. So it's not too long. We don't have to wait too long. We will see it in the coming weeks. And if you look at the stats, well, yeah, technically it does give you the story of the game. Did we have more shots than them? Yes. Did we have more possession? Definitely yes. And did we create more chances than them? Yes. The only chance I can remember that they had at all throughout the entire game was actually 2. One was the one that Bayende saved. That could have gone anywhere. The second one was the one that smashed the crossbar. And that, guys, if that went in, that was one of the goals of the tournament. That was insane. And yeah, just these stats alone tell you that, yeah, we pretty much dominated the game. We deserved to win. But it wasn't a landslide. Let me be clear with that. It wasn't a landslide like, oh, we were dominating them. We were pressing them and we were putting them under pressure. We were, but it wasn't the insane pressure that we would like. It wasn't a perfect Amorim performance, but definitely one of the best ones we've had, at least under him so far. And if we can put in more performances like this, I think we will see better results. And with that, league phase is over and we have finished 3rd place, which is pretty decent considering the fact of how bad we've been under both Ten Hag and Amorim. I'm surprised that we haven't lost a single game in this Europa League. So out of the 8 games, we've won 5, drawn 3. Somehow we have avoided defeat. This is despite playing at Porto, at Fenerbahce, in Czech Republic, and in Romania, and we've still avoided defeat. Kudos, I guess. And that's Star Bucharest 0, Man United 2. On to Palace at the weekend, and see you all in the next one.